Hi Virgo, welcome to your monthly readings. As always, keep in mind that this is only a general reading. Always take what it feels right and with what does resonate within your own life experiences during this time. And if you would like a personal reading with me, you can email me at the email address, which is in the link down below. Each month I offer special discount reading. So if you want to know more information about the special I'm offering for the month of November, also email me and I will gladly provide all the info required. Or if you would like to donate and support my channel, you can do that by following the PayPal link, which is also down below. So Virgo, I do feel that for some of you this is a very intense, supercharged month, which can be, interesting, let's say this way, because I feel like in certain areas or when channeled properly and when you learn to kind of, it's like how to channel this energy into the proper formats, it can be amazing. And I feel like creatively you may be your inspiration, the way you think about something, or the way you produce you produce and manifest your creative thinking, it's showing here as being immense. It's like there's a big door opening for some Virgos during this month in terms of projects they want to launch, ideas they want to put out there, in terms of starting a new chapter. It could also be with their studies or their careers. There's a big desire to change and do something differently, something with that flame, something with a much more it's like a much more passionate or creative energy into everything you're doing. So it's very important, I feel, for Virgos in general during this month to have their desire and their passion, it's like really alive in everything they do. For Virgos that have been feeling, depressed or more lethargic, more, slow or dragging situations that they know they should be more fast or more, assertive at. For Virgos that have been more in a hermit, let's say, energy, this month can pull you out of that and can make places where you used to feel like things were not happening suddenly feel like they are, because you are doing it, because you are creating it. What I feel the difference is here mostly is that Virgos may have a sudden epiphany, realizing that what they want depends on them to go get it. And this is something that can really change us when we realize that instead of waiting for the universe to give you something, instead of waiting for a relationship to come to you, instead of waiting for the perfect opportunity, you go and you create and you seek that. You go after it. You just don't sit around and wait for it to kind of land on your lap. You go after it. And I feel like there's a little bit of a competitive energy here as well with some Virgos wanting to, push, maybe even a little bit of a provocative energy. I feel some of you may really be so fixated in doing something or creating something that you may be unstoppable in this process, which ties here to what I was going to say in the beginning, which is this rawness, this fiery, very, it's like a very compulsive at the same time energy can be good, okay, to produce, to create, to feel, inspired, to feel more independent, less, dragged down by things that are not serving its purpose anymore. But it can also make you a little bit hasty or unwilling to compromise, or unwilling to maybe see the other side of the coin. You know what I mean? It's like you may be really fixated in your ways, um, in ways where you may be more unwilling, okay, to compromise and to accept the different elements that surround you. So I feel like you may also have more of a critical, sharp eye towards everything that you are considering that in your life right now is a flaw or is a wrongdoing. What I want to say is that there may be as well a lot of focus on what's wrong, a lot of focus on the flaws, and you may need to balance this more with also, you know, realizing that there's no such thing as perfection, and that there's so much we can do, to make things or to better things or to fix things. There's always going to be something, okay, that's a little bit messy, that's a little bit, a hair that is out of the place, all of that. And I feel like you are learning to be a little bit more acceptant of things that not always will be, like you imagine them to be, or like you would like them to be, period. And this may lead to sometimes, there's a little bit of, with this Page of Swords, a very defensive, is like a very sharp-minded, very alert. Your antennas are really, tuning into everything, tuning with different vibrations, capturing a lot of different elements of things that are surrounding you. But this may make as well for a little bit of a nervous energy here, which is where I'm sensing that you need some work. Is like, be careful with how you precipitate yourself into saying things you don't really mean, or jumping into conclusions, or believing that you are always right. Okay, I know Virgos usually have a tendency to do that, and it doesn't mean that yes, sometimes, in the majority of times, they can be right, but does that really matter? Is it the point about you being right or wrong, or is it the point about you having your own truth, having your own opinion about a matter, expressing it, voicing it, but also respecting that people make mistakes, including you. And so everyone is going through their own journeys and learning the ways they want and they are ready for. So it's not because you were right about something that should give you an entitlement, okay, to criticize or belittle something or someone. And I do feel there's a danger, I have to say, in this reading, of you being a little bit clouded by your righteousness. And so maybe saying something that can hurt, or doing something unwillingly that may hurt others, or make others see you in an angle that's a little bit, acid, let's say. In other ways, it could be that Virgos are dealing with some nasty, I don't want to say bad energies, bad people, but there's a little bit of a nasty energy about either comments or communication that may be projected towards Virgos. Virgos may feel like they are a little bit under attack, or they may feel like just people are putting more pressure, or there's situations that are putting more pressure or trying to dominate them to do things in a certain way they really don't want. There are power struggles in your month. I also feel that there's a little bit of a dominant and a submissive energy, which you may be, in one side or the other. Both are here to kind of warn you of the same, which is how to tap into that courage, brave, okay, instinctual aspect of your being without letting it dominate you to such a degree that it makes you blind, okay? And it takes over your mind, and it makes you do things and say things that are really, not really what in your reason, in your thinking, you want to do. There's a danger for some Virgos to be a little bit blindsided by rage, or by suppressed suppressed, it's like suppressed anger, rage, or desires that you are not meeting. Again, you can feel those things more in a more aggravated way, and in which may, again, without you sometimes feeling like you can control it, um, it may make you do things that some of you don't may not recognize yourselves in. You know what I mean? It's like there's such a powerful fiery awakening I feel here with Virgos, that in the process of all of this fire consuming some of you, you may not really feel like you can control this energy and feel like this is not you. And then again, it comes here, the Page of Swords, maybe criticizing, maybe being harsh on yourself, or when that fire is not, being properly channeled, it may be so strong that again you may project that fire into someone else or something else. So the warning here is just to be very mindful that some of you are going through a rebirth. And this rebirth, it's very interesting. It's like a very, how can I explain to you? It's like a volcano, You are awakening. There's desires, there's wills, there's thoughts, there's drives that are going to come to you in ways that, or for the very first time, things that you are experiencing and sensing and suddenly wanting that you may be really shocked by, or you may not recognize yourself in such things. So give yourself some time for this process to reveal itself into more consistent ways, because right now it's raw. Okay, it's like it's a very like it's like a rock energy, beneath it or around it or whatever, there's like a jewel. There is something there that's going to come out of this, be very beautiful. But right now it's still, rough. And with this roughness, you want to be patient. You want to be patient with you and with others, because it goes both ways. When you're not being patient here with others, with yourself, when you're not giving yourself, time to let things become what they need to become, you are going to project that impatient feeling, even if unconsciously, to others. I also feel that some of you need to be careful. Your soul is your soul and spirit position here with the Devil and the Strength card. It's very interesting because this is the two cards that are the most, for me, again, raw, physical, more about desires, more about instincts. So the soul and the concept of, enlightenment and transcendence over those lower vibrations, or the vibrations that are more about the shadow. The soul is beneath. So there's a little bit of like a feeling of you being in the underworld, okay? But the difference is, for Virgos that have been in the underworld for reasons that were more painful, like losses and sorrows and pain, like now it's like you are ruling it. You know what I mean? It's like you've been through the worst part. You've been through the part that possibly was, all about letting go and change and transformation and a lot that was asked from you internally. And now it's like all of that is coming out, okay, in ways where you are recovering your power, and you are recovering some of your how can I say, some of your sense of feeling like you are entitled, okay, to do things or to be someone out of all of this, that maybe before all of this happened you would never consider. And what I want to say is that you may be starting to feel like you are more in control of those traits of your life that we tend to see as more negative. So your shadow, your desires, your you know, what you consider to be more of your negative, let's say, um, traits, and the negative traits of life and others, all of this is not as shocking or as difficult for you to now understand out of all of this, then then of what it is now. You know what I mean? It's like you are starting to have a knowledge and have an understanding of the beauty, okay, that also exists beneath in the underworld. Out of all of this, of course, that what I'm saying, for some of you, maybe the majority, you will not really understand. In practical ways, this means that you are walking on a path, okay, ahead. I feel November ahead, where um, what you want is what you want, and you are willing to go get it in your own ways and terms. And in the middle of this, in the middle of this path, you will find maybe opposition, or you will find someone or a circumstance that will try either to beat you down or to make you do things that are contrary, okay, to who you are and what you truly desire. And this is where the test and the challenge comes for Virgos in the month of November, is for them to fight, okay, with consciousness, consciously, towards what, in understanding what they're fighting, but to not give up, you know, to not give up their dreams, to not give up their ways of doing things just because someone or something is trying to pull you or trying to dominate you. I also feel like this domination could be about you allowing the influence of the outside too much. So you also may need to be careful, okay, the devil here. Be careful with who and what you allow into your mind, because there's that sense of, you know, dancing with that, dancing with the song of the devil. There's a tendency to obsess over things that may be detrimental to you. There may be a tendency to obsess over flaws, over your weak points, and there may be a tendency to think about yourself in a negative light. And all of this is the challenge here with the devil and the strength card together, is for you to access. It's like this magnificent, you know, power. It's like the battery of your soul is being recharged, and so it may be such a shock that initially it may be hard for you to adapt to that strong energy. You know what I mean? But then once you start allowing it to give you the creative juice that is trying to give here, you will feel better, and you will feel like things are, you know, you are returning to the surface of life, and you are returning to it in a much more confident and empowered version of who you are. Some of you want to change. I feel like you want to change a lot of things in your life, and you want to put in them more of your colors, more of your tastes. Others of you may have a very strong relationship during this time with your desires. So again, your compulsions, your the sexuality is showing up here as being unfocused. So there's a lot of issues around the sexual aspect of your life that may be important for you to kind of understand what's going on. There's a lot of unconscious, again, energies taking over you, and so you may feel like this fire that is uncontrollable taking over you. And with fire comes, again, a lot of desires, a lot of desires. I also feel like you, if you set your mind to do something, you may be very, you know, persistent and insistent about it. And that's something that it's good, because it means that you are, you know, persisting on your goals. Just, I feel like for some of you though, there's a risk still here with the moon as well here. there's a risk for you sometimes to maybe not seeing things as clear as you should. So what I want to say is that there may be a lot of uncertainty about in reality what some of you are doing with all of this fire. And again, it takes some time, okay, for the diamond to come out of this. So be patient with how you're feeling and how you are expressing it. And the best way you can actually use this energy is channeling it creatively or actively, you know, doing something, being proactive, working out, or joining an activity that makes you move, that makes you, again, feel, you know, that you are doing something with this fire, that it's good to you and others. Dancing, writing, singing, you know, investing on your in what you would like to do to enhance your knowledge. You know, all of this. It's showing up here as being very very important. I also feel like some Virgos have secrets or secrecy here. Uh, that may involve a figure in your life, you know, someone where there may be a lot of feelings, someone of the past, someone that's a little bit hidden in the shadows. There's a sense of hidden love or love in the shadows, let's say, here showing up. But at the same time, this could be that there's love coming, or issues with relationships coming ahead in the month of November, that may be a process to reveal themselves. Okay, there may be a lot of mystery and enigma associated with feelings right now, or people that may suddenly, you know, show up in your life in ways that may be a little bit unexpected. I also feel like there is a lot of imagination, and for Virgos working in creative field, the creative field, great month, brilliant month to put a lot of your energy into those ideas and actually manifesting them. So I hope you have a great month. Thank you so much for all of you that have been liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting to my channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And hopefully we'll see each other soon.